Hello town folk, and this is tutorial number 9, and we'll quickly start off where we left off. This is Luwali Mshokawanji. Never forget that. What a weird name. And I stopped learning languages lately. That's so weird as well. So we'll start with for loops today. We'll look at for loops, then we'll look at do. We looked at for loops, so no need to start with for loops. We're going to quickly go to the while loops, the while and the do while loops. So they're not very different from the for loops, the while and the do while. So let's start with the while loop. So this is how you write your while. With the for, we started with the keyword for. So this one we also start with the keyword while. So while. So with the while loop, with the for, we would say int I within the brackets, but that's illegal when you're dealing with the while loops. That's very illegal. So when you're dealing with the while loops, you have to make getting a text from someone who likes the tutorials. Anyway, when dealing with the, thank you very much, by the way, the person whoever texted me. When dealing with the while loops, you have to make your initialization and declaration outside the while loop. So we'll say int I, in this case let's use k, because any variable name, you can practically use any variable name. Never get this concept of saying only I can work. No. So we'll say int k is equal to what? 0 semicolon. So we've made our declaration and initialization of the variable that's going to keep track of how many times we're looping. Then we can come inside these brackets and we can say, we can state our condition to say while k is less than 5. So as long as k is less than 5, so our condition is here. So we have initialization, declaration. See how similar it is to the for loop. So initialization, declaration first, then comes the condition. See that? So while, then after the condition, what was last in the for loop, we had incrementer or decrementer. So you're going to see shortly where that comes in. So here we have to write the code. Within this, we write the code that's going to repeat. So in here we can simply write our cout to see that it's counting or it's looping. Our cout, let's place our variable name k without the double quotes. So, and then we say endl. Say endl. After that, after you write your piece of code within these very brackets, after you're done with your piece of code, now you can add your what? Incrementer or decrementer, depending on the condition and what you want. So for me, we're incrementing, so k plus plus. See that? So here we'll be incrementing. So what happens is when we come in here, k will be 0, and we'll say 0 less than 5 years. We print it out. We increment k plus plus, meaning 0 plus 1. It becomes what? 1. When we reach this part, we come back to the condition, not to the declaration. The program comes back to the condition, because now k is now 1. It says 1 less than 5. Of course, we do this. K becomes 2, 2 less than 5. Same thing as the for loop. So we continue looping in such a manner, but let's build and run this and we'll explain the code as we go. So it says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0 to 4 is what it prints out. It prints out 0 to 4 because we're saying it should end at less than 5. What's the number that is immediately less than 5? Which is 4. So it's starting from 0 and ends less than 5 at 4. That's why it's going to end as it increments. So that's what goes on. So we're going to have, when k is 0, it prints out 0, increments, k becomes 1 less than 5, of course, 1, increments to 2, 2 less than 5, yes, prints out 2, increments to 3, 3 less than 5, of course, 3, 4. When it gets to 4, it's 4 less than 5, it prints out 4, increments to 5. Then is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is not less than 5. Of course, I told you I'm not in your universe or dimension, so crazy stuff. So 5 isn't less than 5. Batman would say no. And we quickly leave the loop, quickly stops looping if the condition is wrong. So with this while loop, you can also do the same. We can count in reverse. We can say 10, and we can say as long as it's what? As long as it's greater or equal to 0. Remember, you can say less or equal, greater or equal. Yeah. So if we save that, mind you, we now want to decrement. So 10 will be counting backwards. As long as that number is greater than 0, let's continue decreasing. And when you're decreasing, you change this not plus plus, but to what? Minus minus. Yeah. So here we have 10 to what? To 0. It's counting, well, decrementing. So that's what we have. And here you can also say k is equal to k minus 1. This is valid. This is really valid, and we can actually build, and it's going to give us the same result. It's the same as minus minus, because we're basically subtracting 1. So 10 to 0, it gives us the same what? The same results. So this gives us the same results because we're subtracting what? 1. But incrementers and decrementers, the plus plus and the minus minus, won't work. Let's say if you want to decrease by 2, by 3, numbers like that. So here we can decrease by 2. If you write it in this way, meaning you can decrease by 2, by 4, or by 5 itself. So by 5, any number, you can decrement by any number. So now we have what? 10. Then from 10 we decrement by 2, we have 8. By 2 we have 6. By 2 we have 4. By 2 we have 2. By 2 we have 0, and we stop. So that's the while loop. So the while loop is different from almost the same as the do while loop, but it's kind of different. So I'll show you how and or why. Yeah. So with the while loop, with this while loop, it's first going to check the condition. After it checks the condition, that's when it's going to perform whatever action. So it checks, then performs. When it starts, it's going to check first of all the condition, then performs the action. So let's go in and work on the what? Let's go in and work on the do while. So we're going to use k as a variable. Let's use 0. Let's start from 0, of course. So from here, let's do our do while loop. So here with the do while loop, you see with the while loop we started the while keyword. With the for we started the for keyword. Who can guess for the do? What do we start with for the do while loop? We have to start with the, of course, do. Yeah, you're extremely right. You're clever, you know. So you say do, then instead of brackets we just put curly braces. So you say do, then curly braces, then in here you place your code. In here you have to place your code. So we place our code to say cout k and l. We place our code in there. Come here. Before we do that, so after you place your code in here, let me just take some of this white space out. So you start with do, curly braces here to there. After you place your code, after your curly braces, that's when you're going to write your wow. You get? That's when you're going to put your wow. So wow k is less than 5. After that, of course, brackets. Now here's the thing, what is missing? Pause this video. What is missing? Quickly tell me what's missing. So we have condition, we have declaration, initialization. There's one thing that's missing. Incremental or decremental. In this case will be incrementing, so I'm going to just say k plus plus semicolon. Let's build and run this. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So like I said, it's going to start from 0 and end less than 5, and the highest number less than 5 we have 4. So 0 to 4. So it basically does what we want to do. So same thing, we have initialization, declaration, we have a condition, we have an incrementer. So loops are made up of the same parts: declaration, initialization, condition, and incrementer. These 3 parts will be in whatever loop that you find, of course, except from an advanced loop in Java. Brilliant stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to those when we get to Java. So this is what we have. So the difference between a do while loop and a while loop, here's the thing. This do while loop will first start by performing the code, then checking. So it starts by performing code, checking. Performs the code, checks. So it starts by performing whatever code is in here, then checks the what? The condition. But with the while loop, it's going to start with the condition, then the code. So that's why they're different. Do starts by performing action, then checking if the action is true or not. While loop will start by checking, then running the code, and I think a good person will first of all check if something is true or not, then act. Imagine you hear about a rumor about me, to say, hey, that guy who does your tutorials is not a guy, he's some alien, creepy alien from a movie in Mars which was created by the Martians. How would you feel? Then you just decide to act, you just get that person, shake them until they start shaking with fear before you actually check if it's true. That's wrong. What if I truly am? You'd have regretted that. So the best thing is for you to hear such a rumor, check if it's true, then know how to act. If it's not true, you know how to act as well. So that's the do while loop, and that's the while loop. In our next tutorial, we'll be talking about nested loops. So I hope you check them out. Nested loops, So subscribe if you haven't, give a like, give a comment. If you're not clear, I can do it for you again. I'm perfectly capable of answering questions, I tell you, and I won't respond in Chinese. I stopped that, I was so taken by the Chinese language. So now I'm learning a new language. I want to learn that language, the Mexican language, is it Portuguese or something? I have no idea, but it's something and I'm gonna learn it. Bye.